The idea for this project started when one of our members asked, why aren't there any Stolpersteine in Lockwitz? We soon found many cases. We pored over numerous files, wrote to registry offices and spoke with many people, which allowed us to reconstruct these stories. Gunther Demnig had this idea over 35 years ago and began laying Stolpersteine in memory of the victims of the Nazis, so that people can have their names restored to the places where they once lived or worked.
An der Stelle zurückbekommen, wo sie früher gewohnt oder gewirkt haben.
Berthold Heim was born on July 25, 1881, in Mogilno near Bromberg in Posen. His parents were the merchant Heimann Heim and Johanne Fuchs. Both were Jewish. Berthold Heim completed a commercial apprenticeship and specialized in textiles. Starting around 1920, the Heim family also owned the Waldrose restaurant in Oberrödern near Radeburg. Heim may also have lived in Oberrödern starting in 1932 and witnessed the restaurant being stormed and destroyed by Nazi mobs on November 10th. In response, Berthold and his wife moved to Lockwitz. He was subsequently forced to move into a Judenhaus at Strelner Straße 52 and Zeugenhausstraße 1, with the intent to make his deportation easier. Berthold Heim was deported to Theresienstadt on March 8, 1944, on a single-person transport. On October 12, 1944, he was deported to the Auschwitz extermination camp with prisoner number 1492. At the time, he was 63 years old. It is therefore likely that he was immediately killed in one of the gas chambers. However, his death was not documented. His children, Gerda and Siegfried, managed to flee to the United States via South America in 1939.
I am the granddaughter of Berthold Heim. I wish I could have met him and know what he was like. There's a hole in my heart from all this tragedy of how my family and millions of others have been torn apart and have to live with the consequences of the torture these people have gone through. It has changed the course of history and the offspring of what could have been. Let's hope that this devastation will never happen again and that we will remember always and never forget our loved ones.
Dr. Rudolf Ochs wurde am 17. Januar 1800.
Dr. Rudolf Ochs was born on January 17, 1887 in Frankfurt am Main, the son of Richard Ochs and Katinka Christina Schlenker. He was baptized into the Evangelical Lutheran Church on July 15, 1892 in Frankfurt am Main. His paternal grandparents were Jewish. He studied music at the Royal Conservatory of Music in Leipzig from 1912 to 1913 and went on to study in Jena, earning a doctorate in philosophy. However, by trade, he was a chemist and also published works in that field. Ultimately, he became a professional musician, like his uncle, Siegfried Ochs. In 1929, Rudolf Ochs founded a choir named Wach auf in Dresden and served as its conductor. On September 11, 1935, he was banned from working as a musician and music teacher and was expelled from the Chamber of Music. Because of his Jewish ancestry, he was constantly embroiled in legal battles with the Nazi state and had no income. In 1938, the family moved to Hermann-Conradi-Straße 9 in Lockwitz. In 1944 and 1945, Rudolf Ochs was conscripted into military service for several months each year. However, he chose to flee. With the help of Paul Hardig, who was the cantor in Bad Schandau, he managed to escape fascist prosecution and fled to Czechoslovakia. Dr. Rudolf Ochs survived the Holocaust and died on May 6, 1951, in Ziegelhausen, near Heidelberg.
Wir möchten gern, dass die Angehörigen mit einbezogen sind.
We want the relatives to be included in this tribute, precisely because, to a large extent, they experienced it as a family tragedy. In that sense, we're also giving something back to the relatives. I find that's what makes this so important, and that's what makes this research so invaluable. A lot of things have come to light that I wasn't aware of and that weren't discussed within the family. In that sense, it's obviously wonderful to be able to learn about completely new aspects of our family history here.
It's such an honor to honor my grandfather, which extends off into my family to other relatives that went through this. And I think about it a lot. I have pictures of them in my house on the wall. And I look at it every day, and it's very sad.
Wir als Heimatverein haben natürlich
As a local history association, we naturally believe that history should be preserved, but at the same time, it should also be told. And behind every Stolperstein lies a very specific story, as well as a very specific local connection. And that, of course, was the point at which we said this is exactly what we want to tell. Because the reasons behind that persecution are, after all, clearly visible again today. We have people who believe that individuals of a different skin color or different religion can somehow be discriminated against. And I believe that history exists so that we can learn from it. And that learning begins by remembering. That is why the Stolpersteine are so important. Today, the story of Lockwitz has become a little more complete and more visible. One of our roles is to maintain monuments, and today, we've erected 2 new ones.